Hi, AP students, parents, and guardians. This is Mrs. Thompson. I'm the AP coordinator at Hillsborough High School, which means that I deal with pretty much everything having to do with AP exams at the school. This video is going to address some of the questions and concerns that I've been hearing, especially as we get closer to the registration deadline for the exams. For those that don't remember, the registration deadline is this coming Monday, November 2nd at 11:59 p.m. You need to do two steps to register. They're explained in the email. You need to first go to the total registration site and pick the exams and pay, and then go to the College Board site and indicate that you'll be taking the exams. The College Board site is where I actually order the exams. Don't worry, I do a lot of checking to make sure that we don't mess anything up and that everybody's exam is ordered if you pay. But if you don't pay, I don't order an exam for you. So registration is until Monday, $100 per exam. But what if you're not sure? Well, the good thing is this year, we're able to make the exams fully refundable all the way up through April 9th. That's after spring break, so a very long time from now. So if you're not quite sure how you'll do, if you're going to have enough content by then, how comfortable you'll feel, if possible, I would encourage you to register and pay now with the understanding that you have a very long time to go ahead and cancel and still get all of your money back. Seniors, you'll note that you'll also have all of your college decisions by then. Those should be in hand by no later than April 1st. So what happens if you don't register now? Well, you can still register and pay after November 2nd, but then the price goes up because we have to have you pay a late fee. It's going to become $150 per exam. And then if you change your mind and cancel, only $100 of that can be refunded because College Board holds on to that late fee. So if you can, get your registration in by Monday, knowing you can cancel later. Now, for those who are in AP courses for the first time, you may not know how things work. Why would I take this exam? What are these exam scores used for? Two things. One, college admission. So not all schools use AP scores in the admission process. For instance, Rutgers does not. But some selective schools do consider AP exam scores in the process. Since students can self-report their scores on the application, they can choose to report all of the tests that they've ever taken, some of them, or none of them. We usually encourage students to report scores of 4 or 5, and sometimes 3, depending upon the circumstances. Now, what about college credit? That is determined only by the school that the student attends. So there's no universal policy. Everybody sets their own. Sometimes it's the same policy for the entire university, and sometimes it's different depending upon the major the student's in or the college within the larger university. So at Rutgers, the policy is a little bit different for School of Engineering versus Arts and Science and Business. You can Google to find the policies. I'll usually just Google the college name and then AP credit policy. So UMD, AP credit policy, pops right up, first link on Google. What you find is generally we're talking about 4s and 5s, sometimes a 3. Scores of 2 or 1, which are the lower 2 sets of scores on the exam, will not get you college credit. And yes, RVCC does give AP exam credit. So even if you're going to RV, it could pay to take off some of these exams. So now about that college credit. One of the big concerns I've been hearing is, Mrs. Thompson, why would I bother taking that exam if that's not what I intend to study in college? Well, I've got news for you. Regardless of what you major in college, you're going to be taking some amount of general education requirements. That's going to be things like English, history, social studies, humanities, natural science, etc. So even if you're engineering, I've got news for you. You're still going to be taking some of these other humanities subjects. The good part is if you've got some AP credits coming in, you might be meeting those requirements now, which means you don't need to take those classes again when you're in college. That frees up some space for you, maybe some space to have a double major, maybe some space to have a lighter semester, maybe while you're studying abroad or doing an internship, or it can open up the opportunity for you to take more classes that you're actually interested in if these classes that you're taking now maybe aren't really your cup of tea. You can also satisfy specific requirements for your major. So sometimes it might be the first entry-level courses for your major that you'll be taking. Maybe computer science, you're knocking out the first class, and that means you'll start at the second class in the sequence. If all else fails, schools will usually give you free elective credit. Those are miscellaneous credits needed to graduate, basically. So it's counting for something. It's not the best thing out there. It's not always worth it for everyone, but something is better than nothing. Now, seniors. Sometimes you've already taken a whole bunch of AP exams. And as we get later into this year, you'll be looking at the AP credit policies for your school, and you'll figure out, oh, I already met some of these requirements. Taking this particular exam isn't going to buy me anything. Then it's up to you if you want to still follow through and take the exam. But again, it's a very long time away. Hardly any of you have decisions in hand at this point. I would make that decision later once you know where you're going. Remember, you have until April 9th to get that full refund. And after that, there's a little bit of time to get a partial refund. So here are some AP credit policy samples. This is something that you're looking for. This is a pretty standard AP credit policy. I screenshotted this one from Rutgers Engineering. It's just the first part. Don't worry, there's a whole bunch more subjects. Here's a couple other ones so that you can take a look at a few, but I just wanted to take you a minute to show you how things work. So let's say you are going to Rutgers next year, seniors, and you'll come here. This is the AP credit policy that applies to arts and science, and it also applies to students in the School of Business at Rutgers. And when we come down, we'll see what you get credit for. So if you take AP Bio, you get a 4 or 5, you get a total of 10 credits. That is a whole lot, everybody. That is a full year of biology in college. And it gives you credit for 115, 116, and 117. Some of that is a lab, some of it's a regular course. If you're taking AP Calc, you get different credits for a 4 versus a 5. So the grade you get sometimes does matter. You'll also see that for English Lit, you get credit. This matters. And you'll see here for seniors, if you already got credit for the Lang class, they can give you something different if you wind up getting the 4 or 5 in Lit. So it can still be worthwhile for you to take Lit, even if you already got credit for Lang. So then how does that apply to general ed credits? So this is the core curriculum for students who are in business or in arts and science at Rutgers. So everybody has to take these things, whether you're a comp sci major or French, or whether you're an accounting major, you're still taking these things. So you've got to take 6 credits in natural science. That's a full year of classes. Each class is about 3 credits. So when we click on natural science, though, what we will see is that you can get credit for this here, bio. This is the credits awarded for AP Bio. This is the credits awarded for AP Chem. So you can start to see how I'm knocking things out. So if I'm a comp sci major, now I just knocked out my natural science requirements and I don't need to take them. I need a total of 6 credits. Even just taking Chem in 10th grade already gets me 8 of them. So I'm done. And maybe bio isn't worth it, or maybe it is. It still could count towards credits at the school. And then if I keep going, it's very common that I see that students will also fill their arts and humanities requirements. They'll fill some of their social analysis requirements. Things like art history fill these requirements, general psych, AP World, AP Euro, APUSH fills some of this. When we come here to the cognitive skills and writing, you'll see that this is where you wind up using that English comp, English language credit. And you just keep going and you'll see that you can fill a whole bunch of credits. I've seen students come in with 18, 21 credits. That's not impossible. That is over a semester of study at school and very worth your while to do if you can get those scores. So now what about concurrent enrollment? That sometimes throws a wrinkle into things. Many schools will, if you already paid for concurrent enrollment, you should know that many schools will give you credit as long as you get a C or better on the course. Obviously, we want to do better than a C, but that is usually kind of the lower threshold. You should know, though, that some highly selective schools won't award credit for courses that also count as high school graduation requirements. I've cut and pasted the policy for Cornell there. So for instance, if you are in APUSH this year and you're paying for concurrent enrollment credit, Cornell would not give you credit for that course based upon the concurrent enrollment credit. However, their policy might be different for the AP exams. So that is why some students choose to also take the AP exam just in case, because sometimes when we're talking about this, it's way too early to know where you might be going to school next year. And finally, the other big question that's out there, the elephant in the virtual room. What is going to happen with AP exams this year? Well, they're currently scheduled to be in person in May. I can't guarantee that's going to happen, but that's what we're planning for. I've heard that College Board is working on a backup plan. It is not clear to me at this point if that backup plan would be potentially available to all students, whether it would be available to anybody who's already been virtual, whether you're going to have to meet some sort of health issue requirement. I really don't know yet. They're talking about information coming out about it in early 2021. If there are any online exams, I would expect them to be much more robust than last spring's 45-minute tests, something that much more resembles the full-length exams that AP typically gives. The reality is it is too far away for me to really give a good guess as to what is going to happen. This is another situation where I really recommend that students register and request the refund later. I think that by that drop deadline, that refund deadline of April 9th, we will have a much better idea of what the status of things is, where those exams will be, what the options will be, and then you can make the best decision for you as a student and as a family. I hope this information helps. And don't forget that registration deadline is this coming Monday, November 2nd.